Check 1 2, check 1 2 3. Hi everyone. Welcome to this live English lesson where we're going to talk about the things that you see when you look down, as opposed to the lesson I did a few weeks ago where I talked about the things you see when you look up. We'll start in about 30 seconds. I'm just going to, of course, make sure everything is working properly. Sounds like everything is working the way it's supposed to. So that's very good to know. Starting in about 16 seconds. Hi to everybody in the chat. Good to see all of you. Good to see all of you an hour earlier on a Friday morning. I'll explain that in a moment once we get started. 3, 2, 1. Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson where we're going to talk about the things you see when you look down. As you walk through the world, as you walk through life, you can look up and see lots of things, but we already did a lesson on that. You can also look down and see a lot of things. So in today's lesson, I'll talk about, I think, 27 or 28 things that you will see when you look down, including, of course, your own feet. So welcome once again to this English lesson where I'll teach you some words and vocabulary that you could use when you look down and you want to describe what you see. Hey, before we get started, first of all, thank you for all being here. Time changed last Saturday night. We lost an hour here. We moved our clocks forward before we went to bed on Saturday night. So this is definitely early for some of you. I already started doing this lesson an hour earlier, a month and a half ago, and now it's an hour earlier again. So I am happy to see all of you here. A few people might miss the lesson this morning. I feel bad for them. But that is how it goes sometimes. But anyways, welcome. Remember some of the rules. Please use the chat for great English conversations with each other. If you have a question, please submit it using the form. I see Nightbot is working well and sharing the link. And of course, do spend some time thinking about the things around you that you see on the ground right now. One of the things I forgot to put is you can sometimes see a mess. Beside my desk, there is a pile of stuff that I have to clean up later today. There is certainly a mess on the ground. But hey, let me say hi to a few people. Let me back up here. Bye. Let me say hi to Louise, Jeff, Nyen, Macline, Isa. Know that is here. Good to see you. Amran, VA, Freddie Wolf, Sylvana, Salamat, Luana. Need my glasses for some of these. Someday I'll learn how to make the font bigger on my computer. Cruz, Jack Lee, John Wedge, G.A., Etienne, Samin, Frandy, Redfish and Crawfish, Hafiez, Jenwin, Mohammed, Rodrigo, Fawaz, Jack Lee, Guy, Pakosan, Unsel is here. Hi, Unsel. Good to see you. And Freddie Wolf. Freddie Wolf says, don't look only at your feet while you walk. You may crash into another person. Good advice. John Wedge says, you cut your hair in a short bob style again, Bob. Yes, it's definitely short. I cut it yesterday. Jen did the trimming. It's all ready to go. Anyways, are you ready to learn? If you're one of the 169 people watching, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Let's get this lesson started. Let's do that. Why am I forgetting what I need to do next? I'm not really. Here we go. The floor. Excuse me. The floor. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between the floor and the ground. So when we talk about the main things that are under our feet, if you are in a building, we usually call it the floor. If you are outside, we usually call it the ground. Now, there is a little bit of a hitch here, okay? Sometimes when we're inside, we call it the floor, but we might, when we're inside, call it the ground, although it's rare. You would never use the word floor outside, though. So if I'm eating a hot dog and I'm sitting at my kitchen table and I knock something on the table and it falls, I would say it would fall on the floor, okay? And then I would pick it up off the floor. If I was outside sitting at a picnic table eating a hot dog and I knocked something off the table, I would say that it would fall on the ground and I would pick it up off the ground. Now, you might, when you're inside, say, oh, I dropped something on the ground. It's rare, though. You can't go wrong inside floor, outside ground. Those would be the distinction I would make between the two. And of course, I wanted to make a distinction between bare feet and bare feet. So when you take your socks and shoes off, we say that you are going in bare feet. I'm going to walk around with bare feet today, or I'm going to walk around in bare feet. I guess I could say that as well. But he went barefoot. That's another way to describe it. And I just put this in for a bit of laughter. This is, of course, a bear, and those are the bear's feet, but it sounds exactly the same. I don't walk around in bare feet very often. I do in the summer a little bit. I do when I go swimming, of course, when I go to the beach. Sometimes I'll walk around the house in bare feet for a little bit. You know, after I'm done taking a shower, I walk barefoot from the bathroom to the bedroom to get changed. But definitely when you look down, you might see your bare feet and not these bare feet. If you see these bare feet, you should run or not. Play dead. I'm not sure. I'm not a bear expert. Do not watch these English lessons for advice on how to avoid bears. You might also, when you go to someone's house or apartment, see a doormat or a welcome mat. They're sort of the same thing. A doormat or welcome mat can be outside of a house, and it might actually say welcome on it, telling you that you are welcome to go to that house, but it might not. You might also have a doormat inside your house. When you come in the front door of our house, there's actually a doormat outside, and then there's a doormat inside, mostly because you can then wipe your feet outside. You can wipe your shoes, and then you can wipe them again when you come into the house. So doormat or welcome mat. And then, of course, if you are outside, I think the first half of this lesson is mostly things you will see if you are outside. You might see insects. So when you walk around here in the winter, you won't see insects. But definitely now we're starting to see insects. I saw a few yesterday, mostly the flying type, but you might start to see ants. You might start to see crickets. You might start to see grasshoppers. There are certainly a lot of different insects that you might see when you go outside. And they're good. Even though insects, sometimes we don't like them, they are actually good. They do a job that needs to be done outside. So you might see some insects. You might see some worms. Here we haven't seen worms yet because it's early spring. But if you dig in the soil, you will find worms. We often, when it's warmer, will see worms. After it rains, the worms come out of the ground, and we'll see worms on the driveway or in the grass. We'll see some worms. But another thing that you might see if you look down, by the way, worms aren't insects. So it was worth having a different slide, I think, for that. There's something else, and I can't remember, but remember, this isn't a science lesson. Centipedes and millipedes. We have very small centipedes and millipedes in Canada. I don't even know if we have millipedes, but we have certainly little things with many, many legs. And these are probably the one thing I don't like. They kind of, I find them a little bit strange looking, and they're not something that I like seeing when I'm outside. I'm always like, they too many legs, and then they move in a funny way. Now, this is something you might actually see if you look up. I should have put this in the lesson called Look Up. You might see a spider if you look up. You might see a spider if you look down. But certainly if you look up, you might see a spider web, or what we sometimes call cobwebs. But yes, when you look down, there is a chance that you might see a spider as well. And then caterpillars. So caterpillars are something that we see here, sometimes on the ground, sometimes on a blade of grass. Sometimes you will see them if you look up, but if you look down, you might see a caterpillar. And a caterpillar will eventually go into a cocoon and then come out as a moth or butterfly. So caterpillars, another thing that you might see if you look down. But hey, let's look at some questions. I feel like I'm going too fast today. I should try and slow down a little bit. I see in the chat, people are saying, if it's brown, lay it down. If it's black, fight back. If it's white, good. Oh, we do not have any real dangerous insects or spiders in Canada. I know there are some parts of the world where some spiders are quite dangerous. I still don't like them, but in Canada, most spiders are, not harmful. They won't hurt you. So that's a good thing. Hey, let me do a little check here to make sure things are working. There we go. Everything's going good. Let me get a question up on the screen. From Know That. Hello, Bob. Have you ever thought about changing the flooring of your driveway or generally design the driveway differently? Thanks in advance. So many people will have an area where there's a lot more gravel or concrete or a place to park their car. So we have talked about how in front of our garage, especially because in the winter it was quite wet and it was very muddy outside, we've decided we're going to put a concrete pad there someday. Not anytime soon. We have other house renovations that we need to do first. We have to replace a couple of windows, but yes. And then we wouldn't really call it flooring. I'm not sure what we would call it. So you heard me use the word, pour a concrete pad. Some people use interlocking block. So they'll lay blocks down, like little flat blocks or patio stones. But if we were to do something, that's the first thing we would do. Good question. We were just talking about that yesterday. From Renata, good morning, Bob. I don't have any questions about today's topic. I just want to thank you for your great disposition and availability. Have a great day. And then a series of bugs and insects on the screen. Very cool. Judith from Hungary. Hi, Bob. Are you associating looking down with embarrassment, shyness, and sadness? When do you do these? Have a great time. That's an awesome question. Yes. Often, like in school, if I ask a student to answer a question and they are embarrassed because they don't know the answer, they might look down. When you walk by people on the street in Canada, sometimes you look down. You don't often look at someone if you don't know them. You might look down or look away a little bit. Not all the time. You might more just look away. But yeah, if something strange happens to you, like if you almost trip and fall and you think people are watching, you might look down because you don't want people. Well, it doesn't make you invisible, but you're embarrassed by what happened. But yeah, great question. From Hamza, hello, my teacher. How do I improve my reading speed at English language without any mistakes? I'm going to change that word. Okay, thanks a lot. Again, by practicing, you might want to try. Yeah, I'm just trying to think without any mistakes. You might want to try reading out loud and recording it and then having someone tell you the mistakes that you're making. In the chat, Hafia says concrete slab. Yes, sometimes we pour a concrete pad, but we also call it a concrete slab. Both would be correct, definitely. Let's see here. Student of Teacher Bob. Hi, Teacher Bob. Sounds like you pronounce question like question, but it should be pronounced like question, or in Canada, people pronouncing it in a unique way. I don't know. I just say question. That's how I say it. It's a good question. Question. Yeah, maybe when I say it fast. So it's question, chin, question. I think when we speak quickly and informally, it does sound a little bit like that for sure. That's like the other day, someone asked me, I said probably, but when I say it quick, it sounds like probably. We're probably going to do that later today. Probably. Like it definitely shortened and sounds a little different. Hey, if you're one of the 255 people watching, don't forget to click that subscribe button. You'll get notified when new English lessons come out right away, as soon as it comes out. Let's see. Next question from Utzel. Hi, Teacher Bob. How is it going? Do snowdrops grow there? Have you ever seen a snowdrop? Have a great day. Bye. I don't know if they do. A snowdrop is a very early growing flower in the spring with a white little flower on the top. I do know that, I can't think of, crocuses grow here. And I wonder if it's a kind of crocus. Snowdrop flower. So the early flowers, yeah, so snowdrops are one of the earliest flowers to bloom, and they're called galanthus. So here, daffodils and crocuses are the first flowers to come out of the ground, and then tulips in a little while as well. But I don't know if snowdrops grow here. I'm sure they do, and we just don't have any. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time looking that up. From Alyssa, my compliments, Bob. Please do explain to us the difference between fluid and liquid. Thanks a lot. It depends on the thing you're talking about. Like, I'm drinking water, and water is a liquid. It's also a fluid, but we wouldn't use it to talk about water. In my car, I have them check the fluids when it goes to the garage. So they check the transmission fluid, the brake fluid, the oil, the engine oil. So I guess it just depends on what you're talking about. We've decided to call certain things fluids. To me, usually oily things like hydraulic oil and engine oil, and even we refer to the washer fluid is the stuff you spray on the window. So I don't know, but we definitely do have used liquid and fluid differently. I'm thinking whether to choose cheap, more slippery tile or more expensive, less slippery tile for a bathroom. If you plan to build it, which kind of tiles will you choose, or would you choose? I would buy the more expensive, less slippery kind. I'm getting older, and I don't want to slip and fall in my bathroom. So I would definitely save up and make sure that I'm buying good tiles for the bathroom that are not slippery. That wouldn't be very, very good. From Frankie. Hi, Bob. How are you today? What is the difference, little switch there, difference between the first floor and the ground floor? So great question. In Canada, the ground floor is the first floor you walk into, and it's also the first floor. Okay. And then the second floor is the next floor up. But I think it's different in the UK. I think they actually do it differently. So in British English, the floor of the building level with the ground is called the ground floor. The floor above it is called the first floor. So in Canada, that is not how it works, okay? In Canada, when I go to an apartment building, if someone lives on the second floor, I walk in, I go up one story, and I'm on the second floor or the second story. So a little different. Make sure you figure out what country you're in before you talk about it. From Dimitri, some time ago, I walked around your location with Google Maps and recognized that it is a small town. What entertainment can people have there? So the town that is closest to me doesn't really have a lot. There's one restaurant you can sit in. There's a few pizza places, and a grocery store. There's not much going on. If you want to do something fun for entertainment, you need to go to the city of Hamilton, which has a hockey team and a theater, like you can go see a play, and many other things that you can do for entertainment. So yes, the town closest to me doesn't have a lot going on, but you do, within 50 minutes, an hour, you can be in a big city. From Nam, the cool Vietnamese. My front yard is empty, so I want to use stadium grass to cover it. What type of grass do you want to grow? Can you share with me how to take care of ornamental grass? Thanks. So first of all, ornamental grass is a little different than the grass you walk on. In Canada, ornamental grass is tall, and we grow it in our flower beds or in pots, okay? The grass we grow, I think, is just a combination of Kentucky bluegrass and there's a few things in the mix. I think if I go by grass seed for my lawn, there's 4 or 5 different kinds of grass seed in it. And they're all types of grass that you can mow and will grow back and all that. How do you take care of grass? It doesn't need much. Here, grass just grows. Some people use fertilizer, but we don't. And our lawn is nice and green. So this is Jack Efron, possibly Zac Efron's brother. Hi, Bob. Jack here. Good to see you. I want to ask you that for learning. So if you're asking about learning with me, all I do is make videos. I don't really do one-on-one or anything like that. Let's see here. Yeah, Hafiz, that might be where the term bluegrass comes from. Like, our lawn has Kentucky bluegrass in it, and bluegrass is a type of music, a genre of music. So this is from Sophia, and then we'll get back to the lesson. Hi, dear teacher Bob. When I was growing up, there was always a microscope. So every time I looked down through it, I could see something beautiful. Do you have a microscope in your home? It took me a while to figure out what that emoji was. We don't, but we do have microscopes at school. So there are, every once in a while, I might take something to school to look at it through a microscope. So very cool. Good question. Yes, microscopes are really good for looking at small things that are below you. So let's see here. Yeah, let's get back to the lesson. I see Lorella says, this is my first live lesson. I am an Italian teacher and I appreciate your English lessons very much. Well, you're welcome. And then Freddie Wolf says, imagining a Canadian who gives an appointment to a British on the 2nd floor in an apartment, there's a big chance they would never find each other. Yeah, that would make a good movie, wouldn't it? You know, someone from Britain and someone from Canada, and they go to meet, and then they don't ever meet because they got it wrong. Anyways, let's get back to the lesson, people. Gravel. So when you walk on my driveway, the place where I drive my vehicles, when I pull into my driveway, I'm driving on gravel. Gravel is what we call really, really small stones. You might call them pebbles as well, but I have a gravel driveway. So that means that my parents put they bought truckloads of gravel. It's just called gravel. And they spread it on the driveway. And I even bought a truckload of gravel 2 years ago and filled in all my puddles. So gravel is what we use. That's the term we use to refer to very, very small stones. It just makes it a nice driveway. Right now, I have some puddles in my driveway. I need to buy some gravel to fill in the puddles. And then, of course, there's something called pavement. So pavement is a hard black surface. We use a lot of pavement to make roads in Canada. Now, a little distinction here. When I talk about pavement, I'm talking about asphalt, using asphalt to make a road or a walkway, and it's usually black. In some parts of the world, you might refer to something made out of concrete as pavement as well. But here I would call this pavement. You know, we have a parking lot and the parking lot is gravel, but we're going to get it paved. We'd rather have it made out of pavement. So that is just another way to cover a driveway or parking lot, or to build a road, of course. And then I mentioned earlier puddles. When it rains, if the water doesn't all go away, sometimes it stays in little puddles. I can see a puddle. I can see 2 puddles in my driveway right now. So a puddle is simply a little bit of water that remains somewhere after it rains for a day or 2 or maybe 3, but eventually the puddle will dry up. I don't like puddles in my driveway because I don't like driving through them. I don't like splashing water on my van or having my driveway bumpy because there are puddles. So I often will buy gravel to fill in my puddles. We also just say stone. Like, I need to get a load of stone. But when we say that, we actually mean gravel. Grass or lawn. So this is a beautiful lawn. Many of you appreciate the beautiful green lawn in the background when I make videos outside, when I make English lessons outside. But grass or lawn is an area where you mow in order to keep the grass short so that it's easy to walk on and you can enjoy being out there, as opposed to leaving it, letting it grow really long. So grass is an area where you use a lawnmower, maybe a push mower or riding mower, to cut the grass or cut the lawn so that it remains nice and trim. Some people will sometimes use the word manicured, a nicely manicured lawn. By the way, a manicure is when you go and someone does your nails for you, but you can also use that word to talk about your lawn. By the way, we use this somewhat interchangeably, like, oh, I need to mow the grass, I need to mow the lawn, or let's sit on the grass over there, let's sit on the lawn over there. So you could use both words interchangeably most of the time. I think almost all the time, yeah. Debris. So I noticed the other day, this is where this lesson came from, that there is an old house down the road from me and they are tearing it down. You can see there's a lot of debris on the ground here. Debris refers to, garbage or junk, but not household garbage. It's usually from a building or something else. Often after a natural disaster, there's lots of debris. So if there's a hurricane or a tornado and it destroys buildings, we would refer to all of this as debris. There's a lot of debris on the ground. The wind was so strong, it blew the house over, and now there's a lot of debris on the ground. So kind of a funny word, right? Like there's an S on the end, but you don't say it. So lots of debris. Sticks. This is the other reason I made this lesson. I was outside the other day making a lesson for my other channel, and I noticed that there were a lot of sticks on the ground. In Canada and in other parts of the world, in the winter, especially when it's windy, sometimes branches fall off the trees and they land on the ground. So we need to clean up these sticks. You could still call them branches, they're from the tree, but I would probably call these sticks. We need to clean up the sticks. We usually put all the sticks into the field, and then they can slowly decompose over time. But there are definitely, excuse me, there are definitely sticks that need to be cleaned up. Sorry for coughing so much. I'm not sick, but for some reason. In the fall, of course, there are a lot of leaves on the ground. If you live in my part of the world, there's a lot of maple leaves on the ground. But as deciduous trees, as broadleaf trees go through their yearly cycle, they do drop their leaves. So maple trees, oak trees, all of those kinds of trees, the leaves fall off, and you will often see them in the fall or in the autumn. You will see those leaves on the ground. And then, of course, there's something called a sidewalk. So a sidewalk is an area where we've either put concrete or pavement or even gravel down. Usually a sidewalk is along a road, but it doesn't have to be. You can have a sidewalk in a park. So this park has a very nice sidewalk. So generally a sidewalk, though, is beside the road. That's why it's called sidewalk. You drive here and you walk here. It's the sidewalk. Le trottoir, I think, in French. Yes. So you have the sidewalk. But yes, you can have a sidewalk anywhere, pretty much. And of course, you can also just have a path or a trail. Those are common things to have as well. But a sidewalk would usually be made out of something hard. And then just for fun, you might have a banana peel. You might see a banana peel on the ground. Don't slip on it. That's I've never slipped on a banana. Well, actually, I did once slip on a banana peel. I didn't fall, but it was kind of funny because this is a common joke If you watch really, really old movies, like black and white movies, you might see someone slip on a banana peel. Banana peels are a little bit slippery, so you have to be careful when you are walking. And then, of course, there is something called concrete, which I mentioned a few times. So concrete is made by mixing Portland cement, water, stone, or sand. I'm not sure exactly. And then as it dries, it gets hard. So we use concrete to make a lot of things. This path, this sidewalk is made of concrete. This building, the floor is made of concrete. Even the ceiling is made of concrete, and the pillars. If I was to fix our driveway, I would probably pour a concrete pad or a concrete slab in front of our house to park our vehicles on. It's just a very cool construction material. Concrete is something that has really made the modern world possible. Concrete is kind of amazing. But hey, let's go to members only chat mode. Let me get that set up for a second here. I have to click a button, customization, and then down to, here we go. If you don't know what members only chat is, first of all, don't leave just because you can't chat right now. Members only chat is something that I do during every live lesson for about 10 minutes. So we'll get back to the lesson in about 10 minutes. If you are a member though, you are totally welcome to ask questions in the chat, and I will keep answering questions from the form here. So let me see. I'll wait till there's a couple questions down there. Let's do the one from Nikita first. Nikita says, hello, dear Bob. What's your favorite things that are below you? I like a good path, a good hiking path in the woods or in the forest. I didn't put that on the list of slides, but if I was to think about what makes me feel good when I look down, I love hiking and walking in nature. That is something nice. I love seeing flowers growing, and I didn't put that in the vocabulary list either. Now I'm thinking of all things. And I just like a clean floor in my house. I like it when the floor is clean and neat and tidy for sure. Okay, from Know That. From Know That, Bob, do you have mostly carpet in your house, or do you have rooms with other flooring? I meant besides the bathroom, kitchen, etc. Thanks, sir. So we have carpet in most of our rooms. I will go over these in a sec. We have linoleum in our kitchens and bathrooms. We do have a few bedrooms with, we would call it laminate flooring. It looks like hardwood, but it's actually not wood at all. It's probably some kind of plastic. So that's it, I think. And the basement just has a concrete floor. We haven't ever finished the floor in our basement. Another question from the form from Axmed. Hi, Teacher Bob. How is it going? I have no questions today. I greet you from Somalia. I love your creative lesson. Keep going. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I do still like doing it. So it's kind of a win-win. I've said that before. This is fun. It's fun for me to get, it was a little early this morning to get up, but it is fun for me to do this. So I'm glad, Axmed, that you appreciate it. From Know That, second question, a bit off topic, Bob, regarding hockey. Since Wednesday, I'm not sure if you played in a club or just for fun. I mostly played for fun. So I played a lot of pickup hockey. By the way, my Wednesdays with Bob video was at the arena. I was walking inside the arena. So if you're a member, if you click the join button, you can watch that. So I mostly played pickup hockey. I played a lot of pond hockey when I was a kid, because I think the winter was colder. Pond hockey is when you just play outside on a pond. And I did have a friend who played for a club, and I did go to their practices because they needed a few extra people, but it was in August before I went to university. So I never ever played for an actual team, but I have played hockey with referees and all that, like just like an official game. I've played for fun and I've played officially, but I was never on any kind of hockey team. Let's see. Amran, the concrete, it's the same as cement, or it's a completed building made out from cement. So this is where it gets rather technical. So sometimes people say concrete and cement and they use it interchangeably. So they'll say something like, oh, I have a cement pad. But technically, concrete is made from cement, stone or sand and water, or a mixture of the three. So sometimes in English, in informal English, people use the word concrete and cement to refer to the same thing. Generally, though, concrete is the correct term. Let's see here. Lolly says, hello from France. Hello back. John Wedge says, hi, Bob. No question today. Just listening as always and having fun while I learn more English with you and also chat with friends. Good to see you here, John. Kakachen says hello to Lolly. No, that says hi to Lolly. Oh, is Lolly just arriving? Maybe. Who knows? Eugene, Automation Secure Home says, I play drone to look down the cliff. Oh, yeah. So drones are a cool way to look down on something from above. I do not have a drone, but Jen and I have talked about how for the flower farm, it would be fun to have a drone. So you could look down on the flowers from up high. Very cool. Key Park. When I do my jogging in the morning, I always look down in order to keep away from dog poop. Yeah, I should have put a slide of that in the lesson. That's a good point. Yes. When I hike or when I walk, I generally look down quite often because I don't want to step on something like dog poop, for sure. Wanda, hi, Teacher Bob. I think I lost my time. What a pity. Yes, it is a different time this morning, a little earlier. I wonder if we'll have people floating into the lesson just as it's ending later. We'll have to see. Wanda says hi to everyone. Let's see here. Freddie Wolf, Bob, in some area, you need to look below while you walk in order not to step into poop and having a smelly gift on your shoes. Yes. And I have had this happen to me, and it's not nice. So you do want to be aware of your surroundings. That's a common English phrase. You want to look down and look around to be aware of your surroundings. So something like that wouldn't happen. Let's see here from John Wedge. A drone would be awesome to create awesome videos for your channel as well, Bob. Yes, I'm not sure how I would use it, but maybe someday. It's not the first thing on my list. I need a new computer first. Let's see here. No, that says, was one of the reasons you had to change the flooring because someone is allergic? No, but I'm trying to think. Like, carpet is nice, but carpet does sometimes have allergens in it. So no, we changed the flooring once because maybe this was for a different person, but we changed our flooring once because the old flooring was just really old. So we switched it up. Let me get another question up on the screen. From Trehan. Hello, sir. Do people of Canada love cricket? Here in India, we watch Indian Premier League. Do people here show some kind of interest in cricket? I have seen people playing cricket. When I go to Toronto, I take the train, the GO train. And from the window, I have seen people playing cricket. We do have, is it a pitch? Cricket pitches? I don't know. Cricket fields. We do have them in Canada. They're not nearly as popular. Cricket isn't as popular as it is in other countries, but I definitely have seen people playing cricket. Let's see. Monsieur Tuna. I enjoy artistic paintings, light shows from projectors created on the floors in an exhibition yesterday. Are there any art performance like that in Canada? Yeah, there's a Van Gogh one happening right now. Jen and I might go to it if we can find the time. But yeah, they use projectors to project the art on the wall. Let's see here. Lolly says, is this lesson starting earlier? Yeah, sorry, Lolly. Time changed in Canada. So last Saturday, we moved to daylight savings time. So for me, it's still the same time, but for you, it's an hour earlier. So it's 8:08 here right now. It's 8 minutes after 8. Whereas last week, at exactly the same time, it would have been earlier. So yeah, we moved our clocks forward 1 hour. No, that says, no, the question was for you, Bob. Thanks for answering. No problem. Mode says, hello. Screw time change. Yes, there was definitely time change this week, Mode. So sorry that you maybe missed part of the lesson. Yeah, time changed in Canada. And John Wedge says, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Freddie says, hey, is it my connection? The lesson was freezing for a moment. It's definitely your connection, because so far, everything here is working perfectly. I hope it keeps working perfectly. Let's see here. Lolly says, thanks to Key Park. No, that says, I was just wondering because we had to do it for for these reasons. Yeah, sometimes carpets they can off gas, but they can also collect lint and dust and pet dander. Pet dander, that is an actual word, isn't it? A word just came out. Pet dander. Pet dander comes from the skin cells and hair of animals such as pets. Yeah, so there's a new word for you. So when you have carpet, sometimes lint and dust and pet dander can collect and then cause people with allergies to suffer. So, okay, sorry if you are a member just joining us, but I'm going to turn members only chat off, and we are going to get back to the lesson. I will answer more questions at the end, but for now, let's get back to the lesson and finish this off. Let me get a sip of water. If you're one of the 282 people watching, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Flooring. So we're going to talk a little bit about the inside or indoors now. Flooring refers to anything that you are walking on when you are in a building or in a house. There are a lot of different kinds of flooring. When you build a house, you have to decide what kind of flooring you want to put in. Probably one of the most common types of flooring is something called a carpet. Now, I do want to distinguish between carpet and rugs. So a carpet covers the whole room. The room I am sitting in has carpet. So there's carpet down here. It covers the entire room. But sometimes you have a room and there is a rug in the middle. So that is the difference between carpet and rug. So you might choose, okay, I'm going to put carpet in this room. We're going to get a nice carpet. It's going to go, we sometimes say wall-to-wall carpeting. But sometimes you have a room and you like the existing flooring. Maybe it's tile or marble or wood, and you just want to put a cozy rug in the middle of it. So carpet covers the whole room. A rug just covers part of it. A little difference in the phrasing too, right? This room is carpeted. This room has carpet. This room has a rug in front of the couch. Notice I have to use an article when talking about the rug. Sometimes we put tile down. Now in Canada, we mostly put tile in our bathrooms, sometimes in our kitchens. We put it usually in places where there's a chance that you might spill some water or food might fall on the ground. It's not nice to have carpet in a kitchen and then you spill chocolate milk or something. It just doesn't, you can't clean it up very easily. So often we will put tile in our bathrooms. Our flooring choice for a bathroom or a kitchen is often tile because it's easy to clean. We also in Canada at times will put down hardwood floor. So you could say wood flooring, but generally it's also called hardwood flooring. So hardwood is any kind of, like, a lot of times it's maple or ash or oak. Those are the types of woods that are very durable. Hardwood floors are quite expensive though. So often instead of putting in a hardwood floor, we will put in a laminate floor. Now this might look the same, but they are different products. A hardwood floor is made of wood. A laminate floor is made of all other materials. It might have some wood in it, but the top might actually not be wood. It might be made with plastic. It might be made with sawdust. It might be made with glue and sawdust and some wood. Laminate flooring is cheaper because it's not pure wood. The top layer of a laminate floor might actually be wood, but the flooring we put in looks like hardwood, but it isn't. It is laminate flooring. I think we sometimes also call it composite flooring, but laminate would be the word I am the most used to. And then we have a type of flooring called linoleum. This isn't as popular anymore. People prefer tile or hardwood or laminate, but linoleum is one of the cheapest kinds of flooring for a bathroom or kitchen. Our kitchen has linoleum in it. It's like almost like a plastic type floor. It's very, very durable. It doesn't, it's easy to clean up liquids and food from the floor. We like it. It's easy to clean. We might replace it someday with laminate flooring, but for now we are just going to keep the linoleum. And then you might see a register or vent on the floor. I don't know if the word register is a Canadian or even a local word, but this is where hot air comes out of the floor from our furnace. It's most likely just called a vent by most people in the world, English-speaking world, but we also call it a register, a hot air register. That's where the heat comes out of the floor. And then if you're in the city, I just went back outside on you, you might see grates. So grates are similar to registers, but they're bigger, and they are just a place where air can come out, or maybe air is being sucked in. Usually for the building that is right beside it, you might see a grate. That's it. There's probably way more things I could have talked about, but I will get back to answering questions. I see in the chat, let's see here. No, that says, could it be that you could it be that you practice singing in secret? For this reason, you have to clear your throat more. No, I don't know why I have to clear my throat more this morning. I have not been practicing singing, although I do sing before the lessons to warm up my voice. I watched a YouTube video once on vocal warm-ups, so I do those before the lesson. Let's see here. Mode says to Freddie Wolf, mosaic exists in English. They probably borrowed it from you, but I'm not sure if the word is commonly used. We often use the word mosaic to talk about if there's a pattern in how tiles are laid. So you do a nice little mosaic. Not a super common word though. We would probably use pattern instead of mosaic. But if you use the word, people would definitely recognize it. Okay, let me get to finishing off questions and finishing off the lessons. Eduardo, what type of shoes do you prefer? Well, this is not a sponsored video, but I wear Asics running shoes. I have 3 different pairs, I think. An old pair, a pair for walking and running, and then a pair just for casual. If I go to the mall, I wear those. I like wearing running shoes. By the way, I say running shoes. I think you could say sneakers or tennis shoes. There's a lot of different words. I use the word running shoes. And when I go to work, though, I wear like a leather shoe, Merrill, I think it's called. That is the type of shoe I prefer. Beluga says, hello, Bob the Canadian. Have you ever seen lavender plants before? Little S on plants. Yes, we grow lavender, but it doesn't always survive the winter. And right now, I don't think we have any. There is a lavender farm close to me, though. I should go there and make a video someday. It smells amazing at certain times of the year. You can even smell from your car that you're going by a lavender field. From Harry, 300. Bob, should we actually use congratulations or congratulation to congratulate someone? Thanks. Have a good day. The first one, congratulations. Way to go. Congratulations. So there's an S on the end. I want to congratulate you. So I'm going to say congratulations. So let me rephrase that. When I go to congratulate someone, I say congratulations. Okay, does that make sense? So there you go. Congratulations on passing your test. Congratulations on passing your English test. Congratulations on your wedding, those kinds of things. Let's see here. From Alicia. Hello, Bob. I'm a full-time mom of 5 kids. Cool, just like Jen. What would you say to your kids if they were sitting on the ground? Get up off the ground or get up from the ground? Yes, I would say off. Get up off the ground. Don't sit on the ground. You're going to get dirty or muddy. So get up off the ground is perfect. If you were to say get up from the ground, it wouldn't sound wrong. Like get up from the ground, get up off the ground. I would say the first one, get up off the ground. That's how I would say it. Stop sitting in that puddle, get up off the ground. Next question from Viet in Vietnam 2. Good evening, Sir Bob. I used to be looked down on for scoring bad grades on boring tests at school. If you were me, what would you do? Do you have any response to that? Thanks. So a few fixes as I read that. So when you look down on someone, it means you don't think they're as good as you. So sometimes when you do badly on a test, you think people are looking down on you. What would I say? Tests can be hard. The number one thing I think students forget is that preparing for a test takes multiple days, and simply doing it the day before isn't good. So job number 1, pay attention in class. Job number 2, review what you learn every day when you get home. Job number 3, if you have a test coming up, start studying 4 or 5 days before the test. That would be my recommendation. From Peter. Hi, Mr. Bob. How are you today? Your live stream is great. No questions today. You have a great weekend. I will try to have a great weekend. I have not a whole lot to do. It's going to be kind of nice. From Liam, I find English listening very difficult. Honestly, even when I watch YouTube live, I don't understand the content. What can I do to improve my listening skills? Well, if you're watching anything that is available to watch later, watch it a second time and use some strategies. So for this live stream, your strategy would be this. In a couple days, a shorter version of this live stream comes out with very accurate subtitles. So I would watch this live stream again. I would slow the speed down to 85% or 90%, and I would turn the subtitles on. But you don't want that to become how you watch every YouTube video. It is a way to practice your listening. So watch it, maybe choose a shorter video, watch it at a slower speed with the subtitles on. So find a 5-minute video. I think my video earlier this week was only 5 minutes. Watch it once, slow with subtitles. Watch it again, normal speed with subtitles. Watch it again, normal speed, no subtitles. It's important you add those last, you don't want to become reliant on subtitles. They're a great tool, but you don't want to have them on all the time. For me, because I watch a lot of French videos, I sometimes rewind and turn the subtitles on if I miss something. So if I'm like, oh, I didn't quite hear what that person said, I'll rewind the video 1 minute, turn the subtitles on, watch that minute again, and then turn them off. I don't often have subtitles on myself anymore. Ooh, good question from Mr. Cow from Vietnam. There are strict rules I must obey, like no bare feet in class, no slippers. You just allowed to wear shoes. Does your school have any rules on what to wear? Do you approve it? I don't know if it's a rule, but students wear shoes in our school building all day. They do not take them off. But I don't know if it's a rule. It's just, yeah, your socks would get dirty if you took them off. Like our school is very clean, but because everyone wears their shoes inside, it gets cleaned every day. So yeah, so I guess we do maybe have some rules. Well, yeah, I'll have to ask. I'm a teacher. I should know. I should know the rules. Wait, I think I answered this one already. Yes, I did. So Avril Lavigne fan. Avril Lavigne, great singer, Canadian. Hi, Teacher Bob. How could I explain with other words? Other words. I've just stepped on something that hurt me, hurt my toes. Okay, so there's two things. You can step on something and it hurts. That is the correct way to say it. You know, I stepped on a rock and I twisted my ankle, or I stepped on a nail and it went in my foot. That would hurt. I did that once, by the way, when I was younger. I stepped on a nail. Or you can stub your toes. So if you hit, like if this is your foot and so you can step on something, but you can also stub your toes. When you stub your toes, you hit your foot, the front of your foot against something, and it does not feel very good at all. You stub your toes. From Avilio, hi Bob, could you please do a video about body parts and maybe mentioning internal organs, the large ones like lungs, kidneys, and so on? Thanks. I'll think about it. I don't know if I want to though. That sounds like a great idea for a lesson, but I'm not sure I would like the pictures I would have to show. Maybe I could do it in a more cartoony way. We'll see. I will think about it, Avilio. Lolly. Bob, are you afraid of weights? Merci. Like the kind of weights you lift to get strong? No. I am afraid of dropping them on my toes though. But no, I'm not afraid of weights. Are you talking about, am I afraid of how much I weigh? I don't know. I'm starting to get thinner again, so we'll see. Hard to say. I think that's it, everyone. I think we're done. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks, Lolly, for that last one. From the chat, people are talking to Gabriella. Very good to see you here, Gabriella. When I found Bob's channel, I watched all of the channel's videos in just over 3 months. And when I arrived at the channel, it had already been on air for 3 years. Yeah, John Wedge worked his way through the lessons. That was very, very cool. Good to see you chatting, Gabriella. Good to see you here. I'm not sure if you're relatively new. You watch usually 3/4 of videos of Bob. Oh, and you watch other people. You should do that, by the way. It's very important when you are training your ear, when you're learning to understand English, that you watch and listen to other people. If you just listen to one person, you get used to their voice. So definitely. Unsel says, you have prepared a magnificent lesson consisting of the most creative content that can be collected under one title. Thank you so much, Teacher Bob. Have a great day and weekend. Bye. You know, it's like a little game for me a little bit. When I make the lesson, I think of all the words, and then I really enjoy finding the pictures. I don't know why, but it's like one of my favorite things to do. One, I love having a good idea and coming up with 25 or 35 words or phrases. But then I really like finding all the pictures as well. Anyways, thank you everyone for being here. I'm going to wrap this up. It's a nice Friday morning. One of the things with time change is when I started the lesson, it was dark outside. It was hard to get up this morning. So even though I have the day off today, I did want to do it at my normal time. I didn't want to confuse everyone and start switching it around, even though it was an hour earlier. Maybe that didn't make sense. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'm going to wrap this up and go have an enjoyable day. Know that says, thanks for the lesson, Bob. As always, it was a great hour. Enjoy the last days of your spring break. Have a great Friday and weekend. Thank you very much. Wanda says, bye, Teacher Bob. Key Park says, thank you, Bob. Judith says, bye to everyone. I really like it that all of you chat with each other. That's part of the fun of this, I think, for you and for me. Judith says, bye, Bob the Canadian. Mimi says, thank you, Bob. No problem. And I think I will hit the stop button in a bit. John Wedge says, have a nice Friday and a nice weekend. You too. Clive is here. Hi, Clive. Thank you, Bob. Have a great weekend. I will. Lorella, have a nice weekend. Judith says bye to Mode and Lolly. Gabriella, I like when Bob laughs. Yeah, sometimes I laugh at inappropriate times though. Sometimes I'm in staff meetings and something makes me laugh or giggle. It's not always good. Ulia says, thank you so much for the lesson. Key Park says, bye, Bob. Know that says bye to everybody. And I'm going to, are you afraid of heights? Oh, now that makes sense. Yes, I do not like being up high. I'm definitely afraid of heights. My family and I, a number of years ago, went up the Skylon Tower in Niagara Falls. It's very high off the ground. I didn't like standing by the windows and looking outside. Mode says, thanks for rolling out of bed to do this. Enjoy your breakfast and have a good day. I will. By the way, what was I going to say? Can't remember. Well, I'm just glad there's 287 people here. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and I'll make a new video for Tuesday, and I'll see you next Friday with another live lesson. Bye, everyone. Et voilà, c'est déjà fini. Time flies by so quickly. Thanks so much for this lesson, and have a great Friday and weekend. Yes. The lesson goes even quicker if you're late. That's what I will say. If you come at 10 after 8, the lesson goes really fast. Not you, Freddie. I know you were here at the beginning. Anyways, bye, everybody.